Howdy all, welcome to part 11 of my playthrough series of Conan Exiles Enhanced. In this particular video, it's probably going to be a little bit shorter than the last few, and I apologize if the sound is a little weird. I had to turn my gain way down, so the mic is much closer to my face, basically because I still got the window fan in, as it's way too hot and muggy to not have the window fan in. So, apologize, or my apologies if it sounds really crappy. But what I'm going to do in this episode is I'm going to finish out a couple of journeys that are still pending, or I still need to finish out so I can get the benefit of the journey itself. And then I'm going to go and ideally get myself a tier 4 sorcerer for the bench here. Now, I think, as I recall, the last time I went, I think it was the summoning place, I wound up killing, I think it was Gruth Death Eater, who is a tier 4 that can appear there or in Skulker's End, in a bunch of places where you would find basically Dafari level or starter level characters. In Sepra Maru, the only tier 4 that I've ever seen in years of playing the game, sorcerer that will appear is Apshara the Summoner. So ideally that's who we're going to go for after we do these couple of journey steps, and assuming I don't find somebody in the bar or the tavern over there who is a tier 4 sorcerer. So, you know what? Let's do that first. Let's go over and check that out. Just because if there is somebody in here, well, one, it's going to be a really short video. But two, if I check now, there may be other people who show up once I come back from trying to find Apshara on my first go-through. Nobody I can interact with. Nobody else here at all. All right. Be sure. Sorry for that weird interruption, folks. I had to take a break for a coughing fit. But I'm back, and while I, literally in the seconds that I was offline, where'd they go? There we go. A sorcerer walked in, and it's somebody that I cannot interact with. Dang it. And that archer came in and I can't interact with them. Wow, striking out. Okay. So let's keep going here. What I was going to do for the journeys are... So I can't finish out Master Armorer, obviously. Obviously, he says. It's not really that obvious. I need to place a type of armorer's bench that I won't be able to learn until level 60 or 55. I could do hardened steel smith, or I could at least start it by going way up to the north, but I can't unlock the hardened steel tools until much higher levels. But I could finish off Master Mason, the siege cauldron knowledge and all of the siege cauldron stuff. And we've already decided I'm not going to do Outrider. And I could do Dismantler. And travel to the Isle of Siptah, which we will do as we go in to try to find Apshara. Alright, let's do Dismantler first. So I need to, as you can see up there on the right, put bone into the grinder. I should have some bone here. I do. Don't need much. He says as he let go. Oh, because I was holding the wrong darn button. Let's put 100 and... There we go. There it is. Alright, and now I need to put plant fiber into the grinder. I am going to grab some fresh plant fiber. Oh, it's up already on my toolbar. It's at number 2. I forgot that I had swapped that. On almost every character, 2 for me is almost always the pick. All right, let's get a little bit, because what you get from grinding plant fiber is spice. And spice is something that I can always use when I get around to cooking stuff for traveling up to the north, for getting... don't get too close to attract the attention of any of the bugs. For getting the black ice that I need for hardened steel. If I've got another one right easily visible, no, I'd have to run across to the other side. So we'll call that good. And plant fiber, meat grinder. Oh, you see, I already did a whole bunch of them. All right. Hold on. Why didn't that go? Do you need to actually drag? Wow. That's a weirdly specific requirement. Put human flesh into the fluid press. Do I have any human flesh left here in the Thrall pot? Ah, 5. Wow. Fluid press. All right, and that makes blood, as you can see. Put coal into the fluid press. I think if you put enough of them, this makes tar. I don't think I ever put enough. I think it's 25, so let's take 30. This time we'll drag again, just in case. Yeah. And it is leaving 5. Yeah, so it is. 25 coal will make you 1 whopping chunk of tar. Dismantle an item. What do I have? I've got a lot of extra weapons. Do I have any armor that I had just left lying around? What do I got? Ooh. I can dismantle a bench that I made for the tavern. A couple of benches, actually. And there we go. All right. Now, the reward for this journey is the improved dismantling bench. And basically, that just means you get more material from when you dismantle. Now, that will not fit in that spot, I don't think. I could probably put it outside. I don't really have any more room here. I could probably put it inside somewhere. Not really so much. I could put it out here. In fact, if I just did it right up against that wall. All right, first things first. Take all that stuff. And I'm over encumbered, of course. Let's see. Let's put the steel over here with Coat Arok. That's a lot of steel. And we'll put... What else would go in there? That would go in there. Raw ash would eventually, but I'll put it there. What else did I see? Oh, hardened steel bar. That's right. Going around Siptah, I did gather a bunch of hardened steel hatchets. The only hardened steel thing I've ever seen ever come out of Siptah is hardened steel hatchets. All right. Now let's go ahead and get rid of that guy. And let's see if I can make the improved crafting station, or dismantling station. I can. Oh, I can make tons of them. But can I get it to fit in there? Yeah, it's not going to work. I can't really move that over at all. I might be able to move it over a little, but would it be enough? I don't think it would be enough. Is that going to get in the way of a lot of stuff? That's one thing I don't understand about this, is why can't I put that, when I'm initially placing it, right up against the fence? It looks like I can't do it even when I'm moving it. Not enough contact with the ground. Oh, I've got pillars underneath there. Why would that not be the case? All right, I guess we're going to leave it there. That's really an inconvenient spot. Kind of want to leave this open. You know what? For the time being, if I can make it fit in there.
What are you trying to fit in there?
And it doesn't work, and I don't know, considering how much I lowered the gain, whether you heard my echo dot just ask me, what are you trying to fit in there? I'm not sure what words I said that sounded like its name, its activation phrase. All right, this is just really ticking me off now. Overlapping with what object? All right, there's nothing in there. Overlapping with an object. What? Where? I think I have a mod that is screwing up my placement. And I thought I had gotten rid of everything. Like, I got rid of every mod that was involved in new construction. Okay. Look, now I can put it literally right up against that wall. What? Okay, maybe not right up against that wall. How close to this wall can I get? Very close to the wall, but not slightly outside of it. And then, wow. Okay, something going on. Anyway, that was that journey. The other one, I said, okay, I'm going to go do Isle of Siptah when I go into Sepper Maru. Master Mason. All right. If I actually have enough knowledge points and I'm a high enough level to unlock the appropriate siege cauldron, Oh, Siege Cauldron is right there, which means I need to unlock... Oh, I have unlocked Master. I need that, and I need that. How many points? There's only 2 points? All right, let me go ahead and unlock everything there. So I need to access or place a Siege Cauldron. So I need to make a Siege Cauldron, which is made here in the blacksmith bench. And then to access it or place it, I need to place it in a crenellation, which is why I had to learn the fencing at that particular level of construction, because that is where you learn the crenellation. All right, I'm going to need that. I said that. There we go. And I'm going to need a little bit of tar when we get to that point very shortly. All right, so let's replace one of the fences here with a crenellation from the reinforced stone. Apparently I can't just replace it. All right, now can I put the Siege Cauldron in it? Yes, I can. All right, use the Siege Cauldron. All right, so I need to open up its inventory, put in some tar, and now when I click just E, it activates it, which dumps tar all over the people who are trying to attack your base. It doesn't really. Yeah, no, I usually take that out and replace it. I'm just going to leave it there. Kind of looks cool. That particular part of the base isn't really used very much. So that's that. Claim the reward. I don't know what building materials these are. Okay. It's a lot of twine. It's not a bad thing. Twine always comes in handy. Not exactly what I was thinking it was going to be. Let's put a little bit of that wood that I recovered from, I think, the other dismantling bench. And I got this open space here. I think rather than having my grinder just sort of hanging out there, I'll put it right there. That's a little better. Okay. So now I am going to need Seth's truncheon and some bindings and some purple lotus orbs, because depending upon if I find Apshara, depending upon where I find Apshara, I will either need the purple lotus orbs or I can use Seth's truncheon. Doesn't really matter. Hey, rat. But I will get a little bit more to drink right there. All right. So I don't need to go through that gate, because the first place you can find Apshara, and I'm pretty sure I showed you this before, when I went and actually killed the sorcerer that was up there, is up in that tower, or at the edge of that tower. Not this closest one to me, but that one that I'm facing right now. And the reason I said Purple Lotus Orb for one spot and not for another is that even if I attract the aggro by whacking at whoever's up there, if I attract the aggro of these two, they can't get up there. So they lose aggro real quickly. Whereas the other spot, you're surrounded by other people. And that's a 2. All right, well, while I'm up here, I'll grab some cash. I don't know if I got that in time or if I took a little damage. I think it took a tiny bit of damage. All right, and let's see who this bearer is. Where'd the bearer go? Oh, right there. It is a bearer 2. Okay. If it was a bearer 3, I'd attack it. I'm not going to climb back all the way up there to get those things. You know, in case you don't remember, there's a chest at that shorter tower and at the top of the taller tower, the chest at that tower and behind that tower. So that person right there is a prowler or thug, and those people over there, they're all prowlers and thugs. I always used to go out this gate and across the land bridge and come in on the northern gate, which is way over there, of Sepra Maru. I was watching Angar's video the other day, and apparently as long as you stick close to the towers here on your right, you can run right over to Conan's bar here and not attract any aggro. So much faster than running all the way around, because where I need to go is right up there. Let's see. While I'm right here... Yeah, there's definitely something else going on. You see how... Oh, well, there's a tier 4 Priest of Set. I'm not doing any of the religion stuff. Anyway, you see how the health bars, their information bars, flicker? Again, some mod I'm using is causing that to happen. I'll have to try to figure that out. Anybody who has any idea, let me know in the comments. But right now, I have no clue. That's always a dancer. So you go through here, and Sorcerer 1, and up Shara the Summoner. Look at that. And no scrolls. All right. And this is why I couldn't use Seth's Truncheon here. 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure if I'd catch their attention. But there's also Wanderers, the dancer right there, 4. There are also Wanderers who wander by. I could potentially draw down the ire of 5 or 6. And I don't want that. So Purple Lotus Orb it is. Yeah, you see how it's so difficult to get my cursor to catch their attention? Yeah, I've got to figure out what that particular mod is that's doing that. I'm assuming it's a mod. I think I would have seen it on the various forums and so on if it was part of the latest patch. People would be complaining hands down. Why isn't that person dropping? Oh, because they're not close enough. Okay, that's a fighter 1. They should have been down long ago. All right. Let's drag up Shara out of here. I'm going to run right by here. You know what? I think it would be quicker to go basically back the way I came. Let's hope I don't attract any aggro again. As long as I stick over here now to the left side. That's good. Now, if I did, I couldn't run away anyway. And there. We avoided all of the prowlers, thieves, and thugs. Successful. Why aren't you regaining... There we go. And slog, 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 slog. God, I wish you could build up there. What a great spot that would be. But it's too close to Seppermaru. Well, now that I think about it, it never even occurred to me because it's been so long since I've brought a character up to a level where I'm doing a purge. But yeah, that could be a real problem with activating purges. The purge base could spawn basically in Seppermaru. Alright, let's get Apshara up and running. And I think the only thing I grabbed out of there was some coin. So let's put that away. I didn't even get any... weapons or anything that I could break down in the new dismantler. Let's see. Not really sure where I got the fur from. But I can always use more of that. Let's put you back here. And let's see what's shown up at the tavern. We've got a Tanner 2, a Taskmaster 1. Ooh. Oh, Stygian Fighter 3, but then again, I could knock any of those out right over there. Oh. A Vanner Loising Tanner. And somebody I can't click on. Oh, what do we got? What do we got? Oh, and an Archer 1. Hyborian Survivor. I mean, it's a good type of NPC, but a 1? And no thanks. Now, I could just whack at them and get them all to leave, and that would reset. You know what? Why not? So basically, if you want people to leave your bar, you just start smacking them. So it looks like... And for some reason, if you do the right click, like these heavy strikes, that seems to get them to leave more quickly. Like that. Now you are technically drawing aggro because you're fighting somebody, which is why you've got the, you know, drums going on, but they don't actually fight you. Some of them don't respond to that right click very easily or very quickly. They just take their own time to finally get up and leave after you've punched them. But once they've reacted badly to you punching him like that, they will eventually leave. Yeah, see, that one's going after a couple of hits. That one looks like they're still willing to fight. There you go. Now they're going. What in the world was that sound? I do not recall ever hearing a patron in the bar make that noise. Wow. Alrighty then. And look at that. Apshara is all done. Now let's see if all of the stuff I've taken out of here, all of the mods I've disabled, have fixed this problem. They have. Apshara kept her clothes on. Move and guard. There we go. I think that's the most robust I've ever seen any of the versions of Apshara. Wow. All right, let's see if anything interesting has... Oh, here comes somebody. Has come into the tavern since I tried to move everybody out. There's that person. They have a weapon on their hip, so I can't... Yeah, can't tag them anyway, so it doesn't matter. But that's a little bit more than 30 minutes. So I'll call that the video. Not quite as exciting as the last few, but they can't all be like that. But I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please do click on the like button. If you didn't, click that dislike button. If you've got any questions or comments about what I did here today, or anything that we do at Nerd Caliber, please leave them in the comment section below. If you have not subscribed yet and you like what we do, please do consider subscribing. Maybe clicking on that notification bell icon so that you get notified whenever new videos go up on the channel. With all that said, do please stay safe, try to stay cool, be well, and bye-bye.